Hello, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com, dwyervip.com. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. When I created the Roku channel called Dwyer Sports Info, I was hoping to introduce the public to gamblers that I believe have an edge on the casino. Many of them are on YouTube and routinely give picks on upcoming events and sports like basketball, football obviously, and baseball. Right? Unfortunately, it seems that Roku is having a feud with YouTube. And so unfortunately, I've been unable to tap into the syndication feeds from these gamblers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to name some gamblers here who I believe have an edge on the casino. I don't know any of these gamblers, right? It's an arm's length transaction. The reason why I'm endorsing them is simply because they deliver. Right? If you have a pen and paper, I would encourage you to take down these names. They're definitely gamblers that you want to follow. You want to look them up and research them here on YouTube. They are Jim Feist, Dave Koken, Scott Fezzik, Brian Leonard, Vegas Runner, Scott Spritzer, Indian Cowboy, and Kenny White. To make it easy for you, let me just point out that Jim Feist and Dave Koken can be found at Jim Feist Sports on YouTube at Sports Betting. You can just Google the user, you'll get the videos. Scott Fezzik, Brian Leonard, Vegas Runner, Scott Spritzer, they can all be found at pregame.tv. And of course, Indian Cowboy can be found at IC Doc Sports. Finally, Kenny White is on Don Best TV. Right? I tried to get all of their videos on my Roku channel page, and unfortunately, it looks like the formatting just doesn't work. I would encourage all gamblers out there looking to get an edge on the casino to research these gamblers and to keep track of their picks. So what I'm going to do is change the format a little bit. I'm a gambler. What I try to do is to take positions when the casino is offering bargains and then hedge the play as we approach the event. Here's what I'm looking at. Here's what I think you should look at, understanding that this is a position for the time being. As we get closer to the event, you might hedge out of the play, or you might actually increase your position on the play at different odds. Okay? The first play I think is worth looking at, and today is March the 2nd, 2013. Is Robert Guerrero against Floyd Mayweather at greater than 6-1 odds. Quite frankly, I believe that Mayweather's legs aren't what they used to be. I believe that a guy with volume and a, back leg game, right? Not a front foot game, but a back foot game, could actually give Mayweather all kinds of problems. And that's the kind of game that Robert Guerrero used to have. I think Mayweather has picked the wrong opponent here. I'm not saying he loses. What I am saying is this is a toss-up fight that for some odd reason the casinos are giving you 6-1 odds and higher on the underdog. Right? To the gamblers out there, I would consider taking a position in Robert Guerrero here. I believe the odds will shift significantly before fight time, enabling you to possibly hedge out of the play. Let me also point out that Robert Guerrero has an excellent chin. We saw that against Selçuk Aydin. We saw that against Andre Berto. Robert Guerrero not only went the distance in both fights, he won both fights. I believe at the last minute you'll be able to hedge this play by simply taking the over in the fight. I don't see either guy getting a stoppage in this fight, right? And so Robert Guerrero right now to win the fight at 6-1, I believe, is a gift from the casinos. Next, in the NBA, I believe a team that's severely undervalued that you need to consider on a futures prop to win the Eastern Conference is the Indiana Pacers. Right? I believe that Paul George, quite frankly, quietly, is now one of the 15 best players in the NBA. Might be even higher than that. This is the kind of talent who, if Paul George gets hot, he can literally carry his team through rounds of the playoffs, right? The Miami Heat have the inside track to win the Eastern Conference. That has not changed. But if you're looking at great odds on what I believe is the only team who can challenge the Heat for the Eastern Conference, well, now is the time to put that money down on the Indiana Pacers, right? They have Roy Hibbert, they have George Hill, they have a bunch of talent, they are excellent defensively. Look at the home and away numbers. Quite frankly, it's a bit shocking to realize that the Pacers have one of the biggest home court advantages in the entire National Basketball Association. Factor in the fact that last year, they were actually ahead of the Miami Heat in a playoff series. The Heat had to come back to win the series. And factor in, and I know this is controversial, the fact that the Heat were favored in the NBA Finals against the Dallas Mavericks the year before and lost that series. Right? LeBron James, as great as he is not the closer that Michael Jordan was in his prime. And my point to you is simply that you need to have some money down on Indiana right now. The way I think it plays out is I believe you're going to get a multiplier by taking Indiana to win the Eastern Conference right now. You'll be able to hedge the play because I believe the Eastern Conference Finals will be Miami against Indiana, right? You get great odds now. If that series ever takes place, you can then put some money on the Miami Heat and make money regardless of who wins that series, right? Take a look right now at the futures odds on the Indiana Pacers to win the Eastern the Eastern Conference of the National Basketball Association. Finally, in the West, I believe that the San Antonio Spurs have the jump on everyone, and the casinos are giving you better than 2-1 odds on them to win the Western Conference. Here again, I believe that only 3 teams have a chance to win the Western Conference: the Oklahoma City Thunder, the San Antonio Spurs, and the Los Angeles Clippers. I believe that even the Memphis Grizzlies don't really have a reasonable chance of winning the Western Conference, right? Right now, record-wise, San Antonio Spurs have the jump on the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? Home court advantage means a lot in the National Basketball Association. And if you're going to give me the team with home court advantage through the playoffs, and you're further going to give me 2-1 and better odds, then that's an investment I've got to make right here. Understand that if San Antonio finishes first in the West and Oklahoma City finishes second, then if they make the conference finals, as I believe they will, you'll have an opportunity to hedge out of the position and to structure a further bet where you put some money on Oklahoma City and make money if either Oklahoma City or San Antonio wins the conference. Right? I believe it's worth your time to look at San Antonio to win the Western Conference. Let me also point out, too, that tonight was an interesting night. Tony Parker got hurt, and still the San Antonio Spurs put up 130 points. Understand, the most dangerous teams out there are the teams with depth. When you look at the San Antonio Spurs team, you have a lot of talent. Guys like Kawhi Leonard, Tiago Splitter, who are out there on this team contributing in a manner, quite frankly, that nobody else's bench is contributing. Certainly not Oklahoma City's bench, certainly not the bench of the Miami Heat. Right? The San Antonio Spurs, quite frankly, are a live player in the mix. And if the casinos are going to give you 2-1 odds on them to win the division, not even the finals, but the division, I believe you have to take that right here. Let me know what you think. Again, this video is being made on March the 2nd, 2013. I'll update it. We'll adjust the plays as we go forward. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments for me here online. And of course, I hope you visit us at gamblersadvisory.com and dwyervip.com. Let me also point out that if Roku is ever able to reconcile with YouTube, and if I'm ever able to bring you the feeds from the gamblers I mentioned earlier in this video, it is my intention to do just that. Know the successful gamblers around you, give them a look, listen to their picks as you watch the events. I believe it's a learning experience. Thanks for watching.